Hi, welcome back to Science Magic platform. Today we'll continue the second part of the lesson class 9 CBSE, the first lesson matter in our surroundings. So in first part we have seen the introduction part. Today we are going to explain and do some experiments of your activities. So let us go to the topic in detail. The first one is activity 1.1 physical nature of matter. So hope you all remember what is matter. What is matter? Repeat. Matter is anything that occupies space, which has mass, which can be perceived by our senses. So that matter has some properties. So physical nature of matter, we have two activities under this heading. Matter is made up of particles. The second one is how small are these particles of matter. So first one is matter is made up of particles. So we have seen what are the particles making the matter? Molecules, then atoms, then subatomic particles like neutrons, protons and electrons. So the space between these particles are occupied, right? So with solid means it is tightly packed, the very less space or no space between the particles. In the case of liquid, there is some space between the molecules. The space is called intermolecular space, and in the case of gas, there are more space between the particles. So this is the main basis for doing these activities. So let us enter to the first activity. I'll be demonstrating the first 1.1a and b here. Let us have a look. First one is matter is made up of particles. Please listen to the experiment now. So here I have taken water inside this glass, and you can see more than half of this glass is filled with water. Now I am going to mark the upper level of water. Now I have done the marking. You can see this. Please do these experiments at home so that it will be easy to understand these activities. So now the labeling, the marking is done here. Then I have one type of solid particle, sugar or salt I can take. Now with the help of the spoon, I am taking this and adding slowly to this water. So one form of matter here, it is liquid, and another form is solid. After this, slowly I have to stir it. Stir it means mix it until it is completely dissolving in water. So now it is mixed properly. Until it is completely mixing in water, it will be mixed. Why? Because inside the water or inside the liquid, you can see there are spaces between the molecules. To that space, the solid particles will go and occupy. So now you can see it is completely dissolved or mixed up inside the space which is present inside between the liquid particles. Just see here, the space is occupied by solid particles. So now see, is there any change in the level? No, same level is maintained even after adding this sugar or salt particles. The reason is it is occupied inside the space present between these molecules. So there is no increase in the level of water. So this is the first activity, and the second activity is how small are these particles of matter. So we have 4 glasses here with water. For doing this activity, in your book it is given potassium permanganate or Dettol. If you don't have these two, you can do the things what I have used here, the blue color ink. So for doing this activity, first you have to fill 100 ml of, you have to make it to 100 ml of water. So for this, we are not taking 100 ml of water in this glass. First, we are filling 90 milliliter of water to all these 4 glasses. So 90, 90, 90, 90. Next process is we are going to do the dilution process. Then here I have taken first glass. This is first glass. 90 ml of water plus 10 ml of ink. Then stir it properly. It is mixed properly. You can see it is very thick blue in color. Then second process is, the second step is, just take 10 ml, just transfer, not approximately, just for understanding I am doing now. Just to fill whatever you can fill using this filler, just fill it. Transfer that amount to the second glass slowly. Okay. Now mix it properly. Okay. Now after mixing thoroughly, transfer the same amount with the help of this filler to the third glass, which contains 90 ml of water. Now mix it properly. Okay. Now again, after mixing it properly, we have to do the mixing properly, otherwise the result will be wrong. Then take next, transfer to the last one. Just see the difference. Now you can just notice the difference. The first glass, it contains 10 ml of ink. The second glass we are transferring 10 ml, but it contains very less number of ink particles, because the remaining, for example, the first one contains 10 ink particles. When you are diluting it or transferring to the next one, it contains only 5 or less. Again you are transferring, it will be containing only 3 or 2. Again you are transferring, it contains only 1. So the number of particles are decreasing. Why? Because the remaining particles are occupying in the space which is present in the liquid. That is the reason we can see the difference in the color. This is your second activity. So you have to do it for understanding. So the remaining particles are occupied. The ink particles are occupied between these spaces. That's why this is called dilution. So we'll move to the next one. So what is the next one? You just see here 1.2, characteristics of particles of matter. Here I wrote diffusion. What is diffusion? The property of matter. One of the properties, diffusion. Diffusing to the other form of matter. For example, we are mixing 2 types of liquids. These are able to diffuse into the next one. Diffusibility means mixing together. The first one is particles of matter have space between them. It is understood by the first activity and second activity. Because of the space only, the salt was able to mix it and occupies the space between these liquids. That is, the water which contains some space between is taking the solid salt to that space. That is the first activity. You can tell the same example for A. B is particles of matter are continuously moving. It is continuously moving. One example you can tell. You are getting the smell of hot food very easily than the cold food. Why? Because one of the property of matter is we can sense it by our sense organs. And once we are heating, The kinetic energy is increasing with temperature. What is kinetic energy? The energy occupied by a particle from the movement. Once it starts moving, it possesses the energy. It is called as kinetic energy. This kinetic energy is increasing while the temperature is increasing. So that is the reason for the particles of matter are continuously moving. This you can do the experiment with the honey. Just spread honey or add honey to one glass of water with which is hot, another glass which is having cold water. The hot water, the mixing it properly, it mixes properly, and cold water it mixes slowly. Because in hot water it has the tendency to move very fast because it possesses more kinetic energy than the cold water. Third one is particles of matter attract each other. How can you demonstrate this experiment with the help of an experiment? It's very simple way you can do this demonstration. So you all friends, 3 or 4, stand together by holding the hands, interlocking your fingers with your friend. So you are interlocking, right? So interlocking means that much strong your force of attraction among yourself. First group. Second group, you're just holding, but you're not interlocking. So this just force of attraction is there, but it is weak compared to the first group. Third one, while moving to the third group, you're just touching the finger, not holding. So which group is strong in force of attraction? Can you tell which is having more force of attraction? The first group, because the force of attraction is more because they have interlocked. It's very difficult to depart or very difficult to separate them. Separate individually. So that is the reason here I wrote here particles of matter attract each other. So like this, the case of solid, the force of attraction is more because they are very closely packed. Here it is less because there is some space. Here it is very less or least because each particle is very far. That is the reason particles of matter attracts each other by the force of attraction. So today we have discussed your activity 1.1, 1.2. Once you're going through the activities, you have to do the experiment for clear understanding. Hope you liked this video. We'll move to the next activity in the third part of this video. Bye.